All right, let's dive into this trade that's been shaking things up in the NFL world. The Las Vegas Raiders sending Jackery and Bennett over to the Philadelphia Eagles, and in return grabbing defensive tackle Thomas Booker. At first glance, this move might catch some fans off guard, but once you start peeling back the layers, it all starts to make a lot more sense. The Raiders are clearly looking to reshape their defense, and this swap tells a bigger story about the direction this team wants to head in. Let's start by unpacking why the Raiders were willing to let Jackery Bennett go in the first place. Bennett was originally drafted in the 4th round out of Maryland by the old regime, Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. But the Raiders have gone through quite a transformation since then, with a brand new coaching staff and front office stepping. In last season, Bennett was seen as one of the better corners on the roster, no doubt, but he was also facing stiff competition and shifting defensive schemes that probably didn't play to his strengths. Heading into his 3rd year, Bennett found himself buried on the depth chart, labeled as a 4th cornerback at best, sitting behind players like Eric Stokes, Cameron Richardson, and Darian Porter. Even JT Woods, a safety corner hybrid the Raiders recently signed, was ahead of him. That's a tough spot for any player to develop or get consistent snaps. Beyond just the depth chart, Bennett's physical attributes raised questions for the coaching staff. Pete Carroll, the defensive mind leading this new regime, prefers long, lanky, athletic players in the secondary. Guys who can stretch out and cover a lot of ground with their length and agility. Bennett is definitely athletic, but when you compare his height and arm length to the other corners, he just doesn't fit that ideal profile. While the difference might seem small on paper, Bennett standing at 5'11" compared to others over 6'1", and his arm length being noticeably shorter, it really matters in a scheme that relies on physicality and reach to disrupt receivers and close passing lanes. The Raiders are betting that size and length translate into better coverage in their system, and Bennett's measurements didn't quite check those boxes. Injury history also played a major role in the decision. Bennett has battled a torn labrum that sidelined him for 10 games last season, and shoulder injuries have been a recurring theme throughout his college and pro career. For a cornerback, especially in a defense that demands physicality, shoulder stability is critical. If your shoulder is prone to popping out or nagging pain, it's going to limit your ability to jam receivers at the line, contest catches, and stay effective in run support. The Raiders want to build a defense that's not just talented, but tough and reliable week in and week out. And unfortunately, Bennett's injury history made that a big risk. And then there's the physical style of defense the Raiders want to run under Pete Carroll and defensive coordinator Patrick Graham. This defense is a hybrid blend of multiple fronts, mixing elements from Graham's and Carroll's schemes. The idea is to be versatile and unpredictable, but that also means players need to bring a certain level of physicality and adaptability. From what the Raiders have seen, Bennett might not be quite suited for the demands of this new defense, especially if they were thinking about sliding him inside on the nickel or dime packages. The inside corner spot is often more physical, and with players like Greedy Williams already proving their mettle there, Bennett's size and playing style may not have fit perfectly. Now, flipping the page to Thomas Booker, the defensive tackle the Raiders acquired from Philadelphia, this move feels like a clear investment in the trenches, a priority for any team that wants to win consistently in today's NFL. The Raiders lost Christian Wilkins, a massive presence on their defensive line. And while they might not be able to replace him one for one, bringing in Booker offers a new dynamic. Booker isn't as big as Wilkins, but he's explosive, athletic, and versatile, enough to contribute in multiple defensive fronts. The Raiders are looking to build depth along the defensive tackle position, and Booker's skill set fits the mold for what coach Rob Leonard and Patrick Graham want to implement. Another factor that really stands out is the injury concern the Raiders have on the defensive line. Lucky Fu, one of their key defensive tackles, was spotted wearing a walking boot, signaling potential health issues that could sideline him. That puts even more pressure on the depth at that position, making Booker's arrival all the more important. The Raiders are essentially hedging their bets, figuring 2 players with different strengths might provide better overall value and durability than relying solely on what Bennett and Jackery offered in the secondary. Coach Rob Leonard, who oversees the defensive line, is widely regarded as one of the best defensive minds in the league. Players like Booker, who show flashes of potential but lack consistency, can thrive under Leonard's tutelage. Leonard's ability to develop players, especially defensive linemen, is a big reason why the Raiders feel confident this trade could pay off. Booker's thick frame, upper body strength, and quick first step are traits Leonard can refine into a consistent, disruptive force. There's even talk comparing Booker's style to Adam Butler, a player known for his quickness and ability to get under offensive linemen to make plays. If Booker can reach that level, the Raiders might have found a gem in this trade. Beyond the on-field fit, there's an interesting connection between the Raiders and the Eagles through their front office. The Raiders brought in Anthony Patch and Brandon Hunt, two executives with deep ties to Philadelphia's scouting and personnel departments. Their familiarity with players like Booker and his untapped potential could have influenced this trade. It's not just about swapping players. It's about leveraging relationships and knowledge to find value that others might overlook. Booker had limited opportunities in Philadelphia because of the depth on their defensive line. But now in Las Vegas, he gets a fresh chance to prove himself and carve out a role in a system built to maximize his strengths. Leadership also factors into this decision. Booker was a team captain at Stanford, a sign of his character and work ethic. The Raiders have been clear about wanting to build a culture of leadership and commitment to excellence, both on and off the field. Last season, 9 out of 11 draft picks were team captains in college, showing how much the Raiders value players who bring that kind of mindset. Booker fits that mold, making him not just a physical upgrade in the trenches, but also a cultural fit for the locker room. Ultimately, this trade boils down to priorities and vision. The Raiders see more long-term value in bolstering their defensive line with Booker than holding on to Bennett in the secondary, especially given the new defensive schemes, injury risks, and physical demands of their style of play. While Jackery, Bennett might have more raw talent or flash, the Raiders are focusing on what this roster needs most to win games: toughness and depth in the trenches. For fans watching all this unfold, it's important to remember that teams don't make these moves lightly. There's a lot of strategy, evaluation, and foresight behind every trade, especially one involving multiple positions and players. The Raiders are betting on Booker's upside and ability to develop into a key piece of their defense, while also opening opportunities for other players to step up in the secondary. It's a move that reflects the complexity of building a competitive team in today's NFL, balancing talent, scheme fit, health, and leadership. So, while it might seem like a straightforward trade on paper, the layers beneath reveal a Raiders team laser focused on building a defense that can compete and adapt. Booker's arrival marks a new chapter in their defensive identity, one that values versatility, toughness, and the right physical profile to succeed in Pete Carroll's system. As training camp progresses and the season gets closer, all eyes will be on how Booker integrates into the lineup and whether he can fulfill the potential that the Raiders clearly see in him. Building on the momentum of the trade, the Raiders' decision to prioritize Thomas Booker and recalibrate their defensive roster is a reflection of a larger strategic overhaul aimed at long-term sustainability and competitive resilience. This isn't simply a transaction of players. It's a decisive statement about the Raiders' philosophy and how they envision success evolving under their new coaching regime and front office leadership. To truly grasp the significance of this trade, it's essential to contextualize it within the broader framework of the Raiders' defensive evolution over the last couple of seasons. Historically, the Raiders' defense struggled with consistency and identity, plagued by injuries, scheme misfits, and a revolving door of coaching changes. Their front office recognized early that without a solid defensive foundation, the team's offense would be under relentless pressure, especially in a division like the AFC West, where quarterback play is elite and offenses are innovative and fast-paced. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders, and don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a recent turn of events that has sent shockwaves across the NFL rumor mill, whispers are growing louder surrounding wide receiver DAVANTE Adams and his candid reflection on his departure from the Las Vegas Raiders. During a private sit-down, The star allegedly expressed deep regret over his decision to part ways with the team, sparking a flurry of speculation across league insiders and fans alike. "I regret it every day," he is rumored to have said, a statement that, if confirmed, would represent a significant admission from one of the league's most prominent offensive weapons. This potential admission has opened the floodgates for media outlets and analysts to dissect the circumstances leading to his departure, pointing to coaching instability, quarterback inconsistencies, and unmet expectations as key contributors. The timing of this alleged revelation also raises eyebrows, coming just as training camps kick off across the league, suggesting that Adams might be positioning himself for a possible return, or at least planting the seed of discontent with his current situation. Though nothing official has been confirmed and Adams has remained mostly silent publicly, the nature of these comments is already fueling speculation about his long-term plans and whether a Raiders reunion could be on the horizon. As insiders continue to dig deeper, reports have begun surfacing suggesting that multiple current and former Raiders players have kept in touch with Adams, further fanning the flames of a potential reconciliation. While some might view this as mere off-season chatter, others argue that where there's smoke, there's fire. The wide receiver's close relationships with former teammates, particularly quarterback Derek Carr, have long been cited as a major reason he initially chose to join the Raiders. Now, with Carr gone and the organization in yet another transition phase, many are questioning whether Adams ever truly felt at home in Las Vegas. One source close to the team hinted that Adams was never fully aligned with the coaching staff's vision and often found himself at odds with the game plans. If these whispers are to be believed, then his recent expression of regret may not be just an emotional outburst, but a calculated move aimed at reigniting dialogue with team leadership or even engineering a move elsewhere. The context of these alleged comments couldn't be more intriguing, given the shifting power dynamics within the Raiders locker room and front office. Adding to the intrigue is the recent social media activity from Adams himself, which eagle-eyed fans have dissected for hidden meanings. A series of cryptic posts, including one that read simply, "You don't know what you have until it's gone," has led many to believe that Adams is reflecting on his time with the Raiders in a more sentimental light. Though Adams has not directly commented on the rumors, those close to him suggest he has voiced frustrations about his current role and the trajectory of his new team. It's no secret that the wide receiver's production has dipped since leaving the Raiders, and some analysts argue that he hasn't been utilized to his full potential. With that in mind, the narrative of a player yearning for the chemistry and camaraderie he once enjoyed in Vegas becomes increasingly plausible. While no official trade requests have been filed, sources suggest Adams may be quietly exploring his options, weighing the benefits of staying put versus attempting to orchestrate a high-profile return to the silver and black. The possibility, while still remote, is rapidly gaining traction in NFL circles. Meanwhile, the Raiders organization has remained tight-lipped on the matter, neither confirming nor denying the swirling rumors. This silence has done little to quell speculation, and some interpret it as a strategic choice, allowing the narrative to play out without further inflaming tensions. Internally, there's believed to be a division among Raiders brass, with some reportedly eager to welcome Adams back should the opportunity arise, while others view his departure as a closed chapter. If the organization were to entertain the idea of a reunion, significant logistical and financial hurdles would need to be overcome. Still, fans have started imagining what a revamped Raiders offense could look like with Adams back in the fold, particularly under the guidance of a potentially new coaching staff. Though these murmurs remain just that, rumors, the sheer volume of them has turned what was once dismissed as idle gossip into a topic worthy of serious consideration. For now, both sides appear to be in a state of limbo, with the potential for something bigger brewing quietly beneath the surface. All eyes will be on Adams as the new season inches closer, and any further hints or statements from the star receiver will be analyzed with laser focus. The football world knows all too well how quickly sentiment can shift in the NFL, and a player's public regret can sometimes be the first domino in a chain reaction of change. With the trade deadline months away, there's ample time for behind the scenes maneuvering should Adams or the Raiders choose to act. Until then, this rumor remains one of the more compelling storylines of the offseason, a tale of second thoughts, unfinished business, and the unshakable pull of what once was. While nothing is certain and Adams remains officially committed to his current team, the emotional weight of his alleged remarks cannot be ignored. Fans, media members, and team executives alike are now left to wonder whether this is simply a moment of introspection or the beginning of an unexpected reunion saga. Regardless of the outcome, the very idea of Davante Adams regretting his exit from the Raiders has already reignited interest, excitement, and debate across the league. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.